Hey, Jan.
Yes.
Got some good news for you.
Sock it to me.
Christian Cruz, Rey Cruz's son, is going to be on with us right now. Hi, Christian.
No way.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. You know Jan, don't you, Christian?
I've heard his jingles every morning on my drive into work, so I'm very familiar with Jan's work.
Yes,
Christian. Nice to have you here.
Not quite up for a Grammy yet, Christian, but he is working on it. And I don't know if I've shared this with Jan, but Ray's father, Christian's grandfather, passed away last week. And really,
oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
Yeah, very sorry, and condolences to you and your family. I know how tough that is.
Listen, he's in a better place. He wasn't doing well toward the end of his life, and he's no longer suffering, and that's where we have to find solace and peace. He was a veteran, and we're thankful for his service, 29 years, and looking hopefully to bury him up in Virginia.
Well, he wants to be in Virginia. That's awesome. And he deserves a spot there, so let's hope that happens. You know, there are things, though, when people pass away that, you know, you kind of want to make sure that everything's in order so there's not a bunch of family arguments. Am I right or am I right?
You're right. And you know what? We're going to talk about a couple things here in a bit about how to protect yourself, how to protect your family, and what you should be looking out for right now to make sure that things are okay when you're not here.
Jan, you got a jingle set up for Christian today?
Don't blow a fuse or get the fuse. Just like Ray, he's got the financial news. Here's Christian Cruz.
Yeah, there you go. Very nice.
I've never had a jingle before. That was awesome, Jan.
Yeah.
That one's on the house, Christian, so there you go. Freebie.
And that's why it was awesome, Christian, because it was the first one ever done. Trust me. We need to work on that. So as we stated at the top here, Christian's grandfather passed away, and he wanted to make sure that his sons wouldn't fight over their inheritance. So how do I protect my family in making sure that doesn't happen with my kids, Christian?
That's a good question, Scott. So for most people, you know, a will might suffice, but for a lot of people out there, if you've done pretty well for yourself, you need to see if you need a trust established by a reputable attorney to make sure that all you've left behind isn't decided by the courts. Probate courts right now were a mess going 6 to 9 months before COVID, and we're talking to attorneys that we work with. It's about 1.5 to 2 years sometimes that the courts decide where all your dollars go after you're no longer here if you haven't set that stuff up. And if you've done well enough in your large IRA or 401k account, sometimes you need a separate trust established. Really what I'm trying to say is you need to make sure that decisions are made while you're living to make sure that all of the dollars and all of your stuff goes where you want it to go when you're no longer here.
And that's called a living will, is it not?
Living will and a trust, and sometimes you need an IRA trust. So it really just depends. Really need to make sure and talk to a reputable attorney to see what you need and what fits your situation.
Well, I also hear about the widow's tax. So here she gets all this money. I'm guessing that this widow's tax is not a good thing.
So when people are talking about widow's tax, they're talking about a couple things, Scott. So when you or your spouse passes away, you're going to lose some income, at least one Social Security check or a pension check. And then additionally, you're going to fall into a single income bracket. So now those people who are maybe making $180,000 a year are in a 24% tax bracket. As a single person, they could be even in an even higher tax bracket because now there's only one person. You lose all those deductions as well.
That makes sense. So let's just say, God, and this is a terrible thought, but my wife and I pass away together. What happens to all of the retirement accounts?
Listen, I hope that you and your wife, if you were to pass away, Scott, go out Notebook style. If you've ever seen that movie, peacefully in your sleep. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen for a lot of people. But if it does, you know, the government passed what was called the Secure Act back in 2019. So those IRA and 401k accounts that you wanted to leave your kids, because you've got kids, right, Scott?
Yes, we both do.
Now they have to take out those dollars within a 10-year period. So you might have been doing a good thing by letting them have those inheritance dollars. But at that point, you know, they have to take it out within 10 years. If that's taxable income, you might be doing an even worse job to them because now they have to take those dollars out. Their income is going to rise over that 10-year period, which means you leave more dollars to the U.S. government than you're leaving to your kids or your grandkids or whoever you wanted to leave those dollars to at that point.
Wow, that's awesome. Christian Cruz is Director of Operations at Cruz Investments and Wealth Management. And And as your dad, Ray, has told us, you will one day take over this awesome business that he has put together. He will leave you the business, I'm sure. Christian, what do you got for our listeners today?
Listen, for the first 6 people who text us this morning, 630-897-4233, we're going to get you a copy of our Retirement Abundantly book, complimentary, no obligation, for those people who've saved $250,000 or more for retirement. Again, that's 630-897-4233. And just text us the word book. Leslie's going to reach out to you. Just grab your name, your mailing address, and a couple other pieces of information. But we want to make sure that we're passing out some good information to the community. And like I said, just check if your financial situation needs a reputable attorney, and if you need to establish any estate documents going forward to make sure that you're leaving all the hard-earned dollars to your loved ones in the way that you want, and leaving less to the government if you can avoid that.
Yeah, that's all our goals, I guess. Well, Christian, it's awesome talking to you. Fine job filling in for Pops, and we will talk to you soon. Do you have a closing like your dad?
I can't say, I'm not just eye candy. I know stuff because I'm pretty sure it's trademarked, but I put on my best suit for you guys, and my mom always told me I had a face for radio.
Oh, well, your mom is lying to you. You're a handsome man. I've seen it. Hey, thanks, Christian. We appreciate it.
Have a great day, guys.